A cup of coffee, a piece of bread. Romain Mapembela says you need nothing more than that to make you feel human, an equal among equals. Romain is actually homeless, on the edge of society with no documents and no prospects. So sometimes a simple breakfast can mean the world.
It's an enormous pleasure, an enormous satisfaction to be able to benefit from Monsieur Ben's solidarity.
Everyone calls him Monsieur Ben or just plain Ben. In fact, his name is Ahmed Ben Abderrahman, and he comes from Morocco. He opened his hotel in Brussels 19 years ago and called it Mozart. His oriental dream come true, a 3-star hotel as colorful as Monsieur Ben's own story.
Hotels aren't always full, especially in winter. In January and February, when it's very cold, I let people in. You see, I put myself in their place. And when they look at me with gratitude in their eyes, it's a joy.
So Ben opens his doors to people in need. Everyone gets breakfast here and often a room, whether they can pay or not. And so far, none of the paying guests have complained. On the contrary.
I think that's fantastic. If more people in the world were like this man.
You have to be happy about it. There's so much misery in the world.
It's always the same story. Without a residence permit, there's no permission to work. Without work, there's no residence permit. Romain actually had worked for years for a painting and decorating firm. But at some point, there was no longer enough to do. His boss had to let him go. That meant his work permit was gone. After 6 months, he could no longer pay his rent and ended up on the street. Romain doesn't talk much about life on the street, and when he does, he avoids speaking about himself. He only talks about other homeless people and life on the street in general. Here behind a church in central Brussels, he had a place to sleep for 4 months. It was a dangerous life.
You see, when there are 7 or 8 drunks together, anything can happen. They go berserk. They become violent. They mock everything and everybody. They don't care at all for the lives of the people who sleep here.
The sleeping quarters are immaculately clean and tidy. Romain says the people who sleep here aren't drunks. No drugs, no alcohol, just bad luck in life. Romain shows us the people lying on the other side of the church, those whose lives have been destroyed by alcohol. Things look different there. Seven months ago, Romain met Ben. Since then, he's lived in the hotel, with a roof over his head, a proper bed, and a clean shower. Romain will never forget the moment he arrived.
Wow. It's better than in my own home. A bathroom and a television. When I came in here and saw the picture of a soldier, I thought, voila, that's what I have to do, keep fighting.
So he sets out, armed with his documents. He wants to talk with no less than the President of Belgium's upper house, the Senate. And the police officer at the entrance doesn't send him away, but instead politely explains how to get to the visitor's entrance. Perhaps it's the presence of our camera, but after a while, someone actually arrives to hear about Romain's plight and promises to do something about it. A huge surprise.
Right now, I'm very satisfied. I've met the Senate President's spokesman. That's a step forward.
And then Romain once again has to do what so many in Hotel Mozart have to do. Wait for an answer from the Senate and hope that something in his life will finally improve. Waiting, he tells us, is the hardest thing.